At the heart of Ouagadougou, where African sunlight bathes the red dirt roads in gold, Ibrahim Traoré sits in the presidential office. The feeble air conditioner fails to dispel the tension enveloping him as he reviews critical documents for Burkina Faso's future. The young leader, with his signature red beret, carries the flame of Thomas Sankara, determined to build a self-reliant nation amidst the storm of insurgents, poverty, and international pressure. Each day is a challenge, but his heart burns with zeal for the people, the resilient farmers, the dreaming children, the silently sacrificing mothers. Amidst the pile of papers, a white envelope with a French stamp catches Traoré's eye. He murmurs, "A letter from France." He carefully opens it, and the bold handwriting inside leaves him stunned. The sender is Kylian Mbappe, the lightning-fast football star, captain of the French national team. The handwritten letter, with firm and sincere strokes, begins simply, "Dear President Traoré." Mbappe recounts his childhood in the Bondy suburbs, where he overcame hardships to reach his dreams. With Cameroonian and Algerian roots, he admires Traoré, a leader fighting for his people. Each line echoes respect and hope. Traoré sets the letter down, his heart stirred. He never expected a global star like Mbappe to notice Burkina Faso, a small nation in crisis. The letter is like a cool breeze sweeping through the Sahel desert, carrying a spark of hope. He looks out the window, where Ouagadougou pulses with life children kicking makeshift footballs, women carrying goods under the sun. Mbappe's words affirm that Traoré's struggle resonates beyond borders. He flashes a rare smile, warmth spreading through him. The letter is an unexpected gift, a promise that Burkina Faso is not alone. Traoré holds it, rereading each line, feeling the strength of this connection. He calls Alima, his sharp and devoted assistant, who enters with curious eyes. "Alima, you know Kylian Mbappe," he says, holding the letter, his voice low with emotion. Alima nods, her eyes lighting up. "The world-famous football star, his letter came to you." Traoré shakes his head, speechless, but in his heart he knows this is the start of something greater. Mbappe's letter is not just a message, it's an invisible bridge connecting two distant worlds. For Traoré, this moment is a fresh breath amid the pressures of leadership. He feels a strange bond with the young footballer, as if both are racing against time on different tracks. The letter leaves a profound mark, sparking unexpected reflections. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. Under Madrid's vibrant sunset, Kylian Mbappe steps out from the Bernabeu, where the crowd's cheers still echo after a fiery Real Madrid match. He unlaces his cleats, sweat beading on his forehead, but his mind is no longer on the pitch. Mbappe, with his lightning runs and world-shaking goals, is more than a footballer. He carries memories of Bondy's suburbs, where narrow streets, weathered walls, and big dreams forged him into a star. His Cameroonian father and Algerian mother tie him to Africa through an invisible thread, despite the European spotlight surrounding him. In the locker room, Mbappe sits on a bench, pulls out his phone, and plays an old video. It's a speech by Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's president, his powerful voice resonating through the small screen. Traoré speaks of self-reliance, unyielding spirit against foreign pressure, and a dream to lift Burkina Faso from the shadows of poverty and conflict. Mbappe pauses the video, his eyes pensive. He sees in Traoré a flame that not only lights a nation, but ignites hope for a continent. "Vinicius, check this out," he says, passing the phone to Vinicius Jr., his close teammate at Real Madrid who's tying his laces. Vinicius watches, a bright smile spreading. "This guy's really something, Kylian. What's your plan with him?" Mbappe stands, stepping onto the stadium balcony, where Madrid's lights twinkle under a purple sky. He shakes his head, his voice low but resolute. "I want him to know I see his efforts. Traore reminds me of Bondi, the days I ran on dirt fields, doubted, but never stopped. He recalls afternoons in the suburbs, where kids kicked balls on streets, where dreams of pro football were a faint light at the end of an alley. To Mbappe, Traore embodies resilience, much like his own sprints on the pitch, each step a declaration of will. Mbappe shares that he wrote a handwritten letter to Traore after watching that speech. It wasn't to flaunt fame, but to express respect. "I wanted to tell him Burkina Faso has a leader the world notices," he says, his eyes gleaming like when he lines up for a penalty. Vinicius, though hesitant, can't hide his awe. "You always go further, Kylian. Who writes letters by hand these days?" Mbappe smiles, his mind already in Ouagadougou, picturing Traoré opening the envelope and reading his words. He steps into his charity foundation's office, where photos of kids playing football line the walls, reminding him of a greater mission. Mbappe reflects on the power of fame. He's inspired millions through goals, but now he wants something deeper. The letter to Traoré is a first step, but he knows it must lead to action. "Vinicius, if I can help one kid in Burkina Faso see dreams are real, it's worth everything," he says, his voice brimming with passion. Vinicius nods, feeling the fire in his friend's words. Mbappe sits, gazing out the window at Madrid's bustling lights. He thinks of Traoré's challenges: insurgents, poverty, global pressure. He imagines Ouagadougou's red dirt roads, where kids play football like he did in Bondi. The letter is the first bridge, but Mbappe is ready for more. He wants Traoré to know he's not just a distant fan but a partner, even if only through words. "I hope he reads it and feels it," Mbappe says softly. Vinicius claps his shoulder, laughing. "If Traoré's as real as you say, he'll feel your heart, man." In that moment, Mbappe realizes his action isn't just for Traoré, but for Africans fighting daily, as he once fought to rise. The letter is a start, but he envisions bigger things: a project, an event, a way to bring Burkina Faso's story to the world. He stands, resolve surging within him. On the dusty red porch of Ouagadougou's government building, Ibrahim Traoré stands quietly, holding Kylian Mbappe's letter. The market's noise, nearby vendors' calls, children's laughter blends with his thoughts, where the letter's bold words spark a new flame for national aspiration. Traoré, the young leader with the fiery red beret, sits in silence, feeling a fresh strength swell in his chest. He's not just a president, but the heir to Thomas Sankara's fire, carrying the dream of a self-reliant Burkina Faso, free from conflict and poverty's chains. Mbappe's words, from a football star in a distant world, are a small flame flaring in the storm, igniting belief that his fight isn't futile. Traoré holds the letter, his eyes tracing each line, sensing the sincerity in Mbappe's words. The star, with Cameroonian and Algerian roots, sees Burkina Faso not as a dot on the map, but as a flag of African hope. Traoré stands, stepping to the window, where Ouagadougou's streets come alive. Women haul water from distant wells, boys kick at makeshift goals, farmers return from cracked fields. They are the nation's heart, the reason he presses forward. Mbappe, with his Bondi story, makes Traoré see a deep kinship. One runs for glory on the pitch, the other for a nation's future. He sits, placing a blank sheet before him, pen in hand, but not yet writing. Traoré wants his reply to be more than thanks, a portrait of Burkina Faso's unyielding spirit. He closes his eyes, picturing villages plagued by insurgents, parched fields where farmers still sow, schools lit by oil lamps. Those images flow into words on the page. "Dear Mr. Mbappe," he writes, his tone steady but powerful, "your words are light piercing our darkness, reaching us as our nation faces harsh trials. Insurgents roar at our borders, poverty clings to every home, but Burkina Faso's people never bow. Traoré writes of mothers rising at dawn to sow dry soil, their calloused hands bright with hope. He describes children, barefoot, chasing rag balls, dreaming of stadiums like Mbappe's. He shares his vision, a nation where every citizen can rise, unbound by foreign pressure or conflict's shadow. You are a symbol of those dreams, Traore writes, proof that hardship cannot stop will. The letter is not just a reply but a declaration to Mbappe and the world that Burkina Faso will not fall. He pauses, rereading each line, ensuring every word carries the nation's weight. The letter ends with a sincere invitation. Burkina Faso welcomes you as a brother sharing our dreams. Traoré seals the envelope, hands it to a diplomat, his heart full of hope. He pictures Mbappe in Madrid, opening it and feeling a nation's unyielding spirit through each word. This letter is not just personal, it's the voice of millions, echoing from red dirt streets to glittering stadiums. Traoré steps outside the office, standing under an acacia tree where birdsong blends with Ouagadougou's rhythm. He thinks of the challenges ahead in meetings, anti-insurgent strategies, economic revival plans. But Mbappe's letter has lit a new fire within him. He feels the power of this connection, not just between two men but between distant worlds. Mbappe, with global fame, chose to look at Burkina Faso, and Traoré vows to turn that attention into fuel for his people. He returns to his desk, his gaze steadier than ever. Mbappe's letter rests neatly on the table, a symbol of hope. Traoré knows his reply is more than a letter, it's a pledge that Burkina Faso will keep fighting, not just for its people, but for those like Mbappe watching from afar. He smiles, sensing this moment will lead to greater things, where his nation's voice will carry far, thanks to a football star and a leader with an unquenchable flame. On the rooftop of Real Madrid's training center, Kylian Mbappe stands under the late-day sun, opening Ibrahim Traoré's letter. A gentle breeze carries the scent of grass from the training pitch, while Traoré's powerful, sincere words spark a grand idea in him. Traoré's letter, brimming with strength and heart, tells of Burkina Faso's people mothers with calloused hands, children chasing dreams on dirt roads, and a nation's unyielding ambition. Mbappe feels the pulse of a distant land where resilience intertwines with harsh trials. The letter is not just a reply but a call, making him feel a greater responsibility than ever. Mbappe stands, stepping to a window overlooking Madrid's streets where nightlights gleam like stars. He thinks of Bondy, where he was a dreaming boy, and of Burkina Faso, where kids hold similar dreams. Traoré's letter touches his heart, not just for its sincerity, but for reminding him of connection's power. He wants to do something, not just to answer Traoré, but to bring Burkina Faso's story to the world. An idea sparks, a charity match, where football's power could fund education and playgrounds for Ouagadougou's children. He calls Vinicius Jr., his close friend at Real Madrid, to his charity foundation's office. In a room lined with photos of kids playing football, Mbappe spreads Traoré's letter on the table. "Vinicius, listen," he says, voice brimming with passion. "Traoré talks about kids dreaming of being like us, but they have no fields, no chances. I want to hold a charity match to support them." Vinicius, with a radiant smile, nods. "Bold plan, Kylian. You'll need the world behind it." Mbappe grins, eyes firm. "Then we'll make the world notice. For Traoré, for Burkina Faso." Mbappe contacts his foundation, where staff are used to his bold ideas. He outlines the plan, a charity match in Europe, gathering football stars with proceeds for Burkina Faso's schools and pitches. He envisions Ouagadougou's kids barefoot, running on real grass, carrying bigger dreams. He calls Real Madrid teammates, from Vinicius to Rodrigo, rallying them to join. "This isn't just a game," he tells them, voice full of inspiration. "It's a way to show the world Burkina Faso's spirit." As preparations begin, Mbappe sits to write a reply to Traoré. He picks up a pen, words flowing like a river. "Dear President Traoré," he writes, Your words reached me as you reach your people's hearts. I'm organizing a charity match to support Burkina Faso's children and education. I hope to visit Ouagadougou to meet you and the kids with big dreams. The letter is short but sincere, sealed with commitment. Mbappe hands it to staff, hoping Traore will feel its meaning. He steps onto the training pitch where floodlights illuminate the night sky. Mbappe starts sharing Traore's story in interviews. On a major television show, he speaks of Traore's letter, the resilient people, and the upcoming charity match. Burkina Faso has a leader the world must hear, he says, voice resounding, and I want to help tell their story. His words spread fast, drawing global media attention. Articles begin covering Traore, Burkina Faso, and this unexpected connection. Mbappe returns to his foundation's office, where staff hustle over match plans, player lists, sponsors, fundraising goals. But in his mind, Ouagadougou remains. Red dirt roads, kids kicking balls, and Traore, the leader with an unquenchable flame. He knows this match is more than an event, it's a bridge, linking distant worlds. We'll make it happen, Vinicius, he says, eyes alight, looking at his friend. Vinicius nods, voice warm. You're doing something special, Kylian. Traore will see your heart. Mbappe stands quietly, feeling the weight of responsibility. Traore's letter is not just a reply, but a call to action. He thinks of Burkina Faso's children who could learn in new classrooms, play on new fields, thanks to this match. He thinks of Traore, fighting daily to uphold a nation's dream. Mbappe knows his actions, though small against Burkina Faso's challenges, are a way to honor Traore's spirit, a leader who not only guides a nation, but inspires the world. Ibrahim Traoré stands before the central square, where people begin to gather. The new letter from Kylian Mbappe, proposing a charity football match, rests neatly in his coat pocket. The young leader, with his fiery red beret, feels a surge of renewed zeal. He is not just a president, but a flame guiding Burkina Faso through the darkness of conflict and poverty. Mbappe, with his plan to bring light to Ouagadougou's children, has ignited a vision in Traoré to transform this attention into momentum for the entire nation. Traoré summons his advisors to a village school where children play football on a cracked dirt field. He announces a community football campaign inspired by Mbappe to build playgrounds and instill hope in the youth. We will show the world Burkina Faso's spirit, he declares, his voice resonating through the crowd. Farmers, teachers, and students listen, their eyes alight. Traoré envisions new football fields where children can chase dreams, as Mbappe once did. He walks among the crowd, shaking hands with mothers, encouraging boys clutching balls. Each smile reminds him that this nation doesn't just survive, it rises. Traoré knows Mbappe's charity match is a chance for Burkina Faso to shine. He vows to make this event a symbol of unity, where his nation's voice will echo far, thanks to a football star and a leader who never stops fighting. Under Lisbon's deep blue sky, the Estadio da Luz glows with floodlights, packed with spectators for the charity match organized by Kylian Mbappe. Football stars from across Europe, from Vinicius Jr. to Erling Haaland, dominate the pitch. Each pass a call to support Burkina Faso's children. Mbappe, with a gleaming captain's armband, races across the field, his eyes blazing with conviction. The donation tally on the giant screen climbs by the second, promising new fields and schools for Ouagadougou. On the stands, Burkina Faso's flags wave, blending with thunderous cheers. At the center of the stadium, a massive screen broadcasts live from Ouagadougou. Ibrahim Traoré, in simple military attire and his vivid red beret, stands before a crowd of his people. His voice rings out, powerful and inspiring. Burkina Faso thanks you. Every pass today is a brick building a future for our children. We don't just survive, we rise with unyielding faith. The Lisbon crowd rises, clapping, many wiping tears. Mbappe from the pitch looks at the screen, feeling Traoré's fiery words touch his heart. He is not just a leader but a symbol of a resilient nation. The match ends with donations far exceeding expectations. Mbappe, drenched in sweat, stands at the center, raising Burkina Faso's flag, thanking the crowd. But his mind is already in Ouagadougou, where he'll soon set foot. He wants to meet Traoré, to see the children his letter described, those with big dreams on bare feet. At the press conference, reporters swarm, asking about the match's meaning. This isn't just about football, Mbappe says, his voice low but powerful. It's about people like President Traoré, who show the world hope can bloom amid hardship. Days later, Mbappe lands at Ouagadougou's airport, where blazing African sun bathes everything. Crowds of people, from children to elders, line the roads, waving flags and chanting his name. Mbappe, in a simple t-shirt, smiles and waves, but his eyes seek one person. Ibrahim Traoré steps from a military vehicle, his stride steady, his smile warm. They shake hands, and in that moment, Mbappe feels the strength of a leader who not only guides a nation, but inspires the world. "Welcome to Burkina Faso, Mr. Mbappe," Traoré says, his voice warm as a desert breeze. Mbappe nods, moved. "I'm here not as a star, but as someone who wants to learn from you." They head to a small dirt field on Ouagadougou's outskirts, where a community football event unfolds. Hundreds of children, in tattered shirts but with shining eyes, line up, holding new balls funded by Mbappe's foundation. Mothers in colorful headscarves cheer from afar. Traoré, removing his beret, steps onto the field, kicking a strong shot into a makeshift goal. The crowd roars. Children laugh. Mbappe, without hesitation, joins in, delivering a gentle shot that makes a boy leap with joy. The two, a leader and a star, play with the kids, as if no boundaries separate them. Traoré leads Mbappe through red dirt roads, showing him crumbling schools, parched fields, but also unwavering smiles. "Our people have little, but they have will," Traoré says, his voice brimming with pride. Mbappe listens, each word a lesson in resilience. He thinks of Bondy, where he faced struggles, but realizes the challenges here dwarf his own. Traoré, with vision and courage, has turned those struggles into fuel to move forward. The football event becomes Ouagadougou's focal point. Children line up for new balls and shirts, their eyes gleaming as Mbappe signs autographs. A boy in patched shoes grips Mbappe's hand, saying in a naive voice, "I want to play like you and lead like President Traoré." Mbappe turns to Traoré, seeing him smile, his eyes sparkling with belief. In that moment, Mbappe realizes this event isn't just a gift but a flame, igniting hope for a generation. In the afternoon, Traoré and Mbappe sit under an acacia tree, sipping tea from simple clay cups. Traoré shares his dream, a self-reliant Burkina Faso, where children learn, where people bow to no one. Mbappe recounts Bondy, his fight to rise. They say little, but their silence carries a deep kinship. Mbappe senses Traoré is not just a leader, but a brother, a teacher, showing him the meaning of responsibility. As the sun sets, the crowd gathers around the dirt field, singing Burkina Faso's traditional songs. Mbappe stands beside Traoré, feeling the nation's pulse in each melody. Traoré raises a hand, and the crowd hushes. "Today, we don't just play football," he says, his voice echoing across the field. "We write our story, so the world knows Burkina Faso will always rise." The crowd claps, children cheer, and Mbappe, beside him, feels small before Traoré's stature. Mbappe leaves the field, his eyes following the children still playing under moonlight. He thinks of the Lisbon match, Traoré's letter, and today. He realizes this journey isn't just about aiding Burkina Faso, but a lesson in leadership, how one person can light up a nation. Traore, with courage and vision, turned a football event into a symbol of unity and hope. Mbappe clutches a ball a child gave him, resolved to continue this mission. As his car leaves Ouagadougou, Mbappe looks out, watching the red dirt roads fade. Traore stands there, waving, his figure steady as a mountain. Mbappe knows he's not just Burkina Faso's leader, but a flame inspiring the world. Today's event, with children's laughter and songs, proves two men from the pitch, one from the desert, can write a new chapter, where hope transcends all boundaries. Children's laughter echoes from a new football field, where balls roll on fresh green grass, built with funds from Kylian Mbappe's charity match. Kids, in simple shoes but with radiant eyes, kick shots, dreaming of becoming like Mbappe or leading like Ibrahim Traoré. The football event in Ouagadougou left an indelible mark, not only in the people's hearts, but rippling worldwide, carrying the story of an unyielding nation and a football star connecting dreams. Traoré, standing on a small hill overlooking the city, feels Ouagadougou's new pulse. He, with his faded red beret, is not just a president, but a symbol of hope, turning a letter into a flame that lights the nation. Schools, with new classrooms funded, welcome students once taught by oil lamps. Mothers, once burdened, now smile as their children have books and playgrounds. Traoré knows Mbappe didn't just bring resources, but faith that Burkina Faso can stand tall with the world. In Madrid, Mbappe sits in a television studio, lights illuminating his face. Before cameras, he recounts his Ouagadougou trip, the children he met, and Traoré, the leader who reshaped his view of responsibility. "I thought football was everything," he says, his voice calm but compelling, "but Traoré taught me leadership is giving hope, even when all seems lost." His words spread through airwaves, reaching millions from Paris to Nairobi. International articles praise this connection, calling it human diplomacy, where a star and a leader write a new chapter for Africa. On Ouagadougou's streets, people share stories of Mbappe and Traoré like oral legends. A tailor, hands deftly sewing, tells a customer, "President Traoré made the world look at us." A teacher, in a new classroom, teaches students about resilience, citing Traoré. Children, holding balls from Mbappe's foundation, draw him and Traoré on walls, symbols of big dreams. The football event wasn't just a joyful day, but a seed of faith sprouting in every heart. Vinicius Jr., back from a Barcelona match, sits with Mbappe in a small cafe. He looks at his friend, eyes full of awe. "You've done something miraculous, Kylian," Vinicius says, raising his coffee. "You and Traoré made the world notice Burkina Faso." Mbappe nods, but his gaze is distant, picturing red dirt roads, children smiles. He realizes this journey isn't just aid, but a lesson in the power of kinship, where two people from different worlds can spark change. In Burkina Faso, Traoré's advisors launch new projects, from fields to classrooms, with charity match funds. A school on Ouagadougou's outskirts, with freshly painted walls, bears a plaque with Mbappe and Traoré's names, a tribute. Traoré visits, standing in the schoolyard, telling students, "Learn, dream big, because the world is watching you." His voice carries, not just to the children, but to people beyond the fence, feeling a new Burkina Faso taking shape. International media keep covering the story. A London paper writes, "Traoré and Mbappe proved a letter can change a nation." A Nairobi television channel hosts a discussion on football diplomacy, citing this connection. In Africa, NGOs contact Mbappe's foundation, proposing to expand this model to other nations. Mbappe, reading these reports, feels his responsibility grow. He plans new projects but always keeps Traoré's image in mind, the leader who taught him hope is a flame that never dies. In a small village near Ouagadougou, a boy named Musa, in patched shoes, stands on a new field, holding a ball from Mbappe. He looks to the sky, imagining kicking like Mbappe or leading like Traore. "I'll make it," Musa whispers, voice full of resolve. His story, though small, proves Traore and Mbappe's legacy transcends letters and matches, becoming a flame in young hearts. Traore, back in his office, looks out, seeing children play under the sun. He thinks of Mbappe, their day kicking balls with kids, the dreams ignited. He knows his nation still faces challenges: insurgents, poverty, global pressure, but for the first time, he feels Burkina Faso isn't alone. Mbappe brought their story to the world, and Traore turned that attention into momentum to move forward. Mbappe, in a quiet Madrid evening, opens his laptop, watching a video from Ouagadougou. Children kicking balls, holding thank you signs. He smiles, feeling how a small act rippled. Traore, with courage and vision, turned a letter into a movement, a flame not just for Burkina Faso but the world. Their legacy, from red dirt roads to glittering pitches, proves hope can cross all boundaries, leaving a lasting mark. Under Ouagadougou's sunset, painting the sky red, Ibrahim Traoré stands on a small slope, gazing at the city lighting up. Red dirt alleys hum, children's football games echo from a new field, blending with Burkina Faso's ceaseless rhythm. Traoré, with his faded red beret, feels a new strength. He's not just a leader of a nation facing conflict and poverty, but one who sparked a flame of hope, turning a letter from Kylian Mbappe into a legacy for a nation. The fields, classrooms, and people's faith all testify to his vision of a resilient, self-reliant, aspirational Burkina Faso. Traoré clutches an old ball, a gift from a child at the football event with Mbappe. He recalls their day running on the dirt field, the children's smiles, and how Mbappe, a star from a distant world, brought Burkina Faso's story everywhere. Mbappe's final letter, just arrived, sits on his desk, promising continued support for Ouagadougou's children's dreams. Traoré smiles, knowing this connection isn't just a moment, but a flame that will burn forever in his people's hearts. In Madrid, Mbappe sits on his apartment's rooftop, city lights twinkling below. He holds a clay cup from Ouagadougou, a gift from Traoré, reflecting on their journey. He once thought his fame lay only on the pitch, but Traoré taught him a star can do more: ignite dreams, bridge worlds, leave a timeless mark. Mbappe opens his laptop, writing a final letter to Traoré, simple but heartfelt. "Dear President Traoré, you showed me what leadership means. I'll keep bringing Burkina Faso's story to the world as you bring hope to your people." He sends it, resolved to expand charity projects inspired by this unyielding leader. Traoré, back in his office, reads Mbappe's letter under dim light. He thinks of the challenges ahead: advisor meetings, anti-insurgent plans, economic revival efforts. But for the first time, he feels his nation doesn't stand alone. Mbappe made Burkina Faso a beacon of hope, and Traoré turned that focus into drive to advance. He stands looking out, seeing children play under moonlight, their kicks like the nation's heartbeat. Mbappe, in a quiet evening, re-watches a video from Ouagadougou. Children kicking balls, people singing traditional songs. He realizes his legacy isn't just goals, but dreams ignited, thanks to Traoré. He thinks of Musa, in patched shoes, and millions of other kids carrying hope. Traoré, with courage and vision, turned a letter into a movement, a flame not just for Burkina Faso, but the world. In Ouagadougou, a farmer, standing in a freshly sown field, looks to the sky, feeling new faith. A girl, in a new classroom, draws Traoré and Mbappe, dreaming of teaching. Their legacy spreads, not just through fields or schools, but through inspired hearts. Traore and Mbappe, one from the desert, one from the pitch, proved hope can cross all boundaries, leaving a forever mark on their people and the world. The story of Kylian Mbappe and Ibrahim Traoré offers a profound lesson on the power of connection and action for community, applicable to life in the United States today, where social polarization and opportunity gaps remain challenges. In the story, Mbappe, a football star, crosses geographic and cultural divides to write to Traore, Burkina Faso's leader, expressing admiration and launching a charity match. Traore, despite crises, responds with a letter about his people's unyielding spirit, turning attention into momentum for his nation. Their meeting in Ouagadougou and the legacy of schools and fields show that small acts like a letter can spark major change. The lesson for Americans is to actively connect and act for forgotten communities, as Mbappe did for Burkina Faso. In the US, where issues like educational inequity or lack of playgrounds in poor areas persist, everyone can start small, writing support letters, donating, or organizing community events. Traoré teaches that leadership isn't just power but inspiring others, like when he played football with kids. Americans can learn to support youth in struggling areas through mentoring or scholarship programs. Mbappe and Traoré's connection reminds us that, despite differences in status or circumstance, sincerity and collective action for a greater goal can build bridges, igniting hope for entire communities. Subscribe to the channel to follow inspiring journeys like Mbappe and Traoré's. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next hopeful video.